Hi, so this is the first of our Wellbeing Zones, and it's about learning mindfulness. And this little video is either if you've not been able to do this live through Zoom, or if the pictures haven't worked very well, then this is a chance for you to see everything we were going to share. Now, we start with thinking about mindfulness because it's a really good way to explore what you're feeling, all the positive things and also the difficult things as well, all the things that make us happy and that we're grateful for, and also the things that make us stressed and what we do with them. And when our thoughts are a bit uncomfortable, this can be a really helpful way to find a way to be calm again, or to focus on something else, and to remind yourself that you're in the present and that you're safe. Now, mindfulness sometimes is described like this: that it's like being aware of all the things we're feeling and experiencing and thinking, a little bit like cars going along a road, but we don't have to stop and intervene them. We don't have to get in the way. We just notice each thought or each feeling like that, like a car going past us. So as I play the video again, think about what you're feeling right now. Maybe there's things that are worrying you or stressing you. Maybe there's some uncomfortable thoughts that you have. Maybe there's things that make you happy and grateful, or that put a smile on your face. Maybe you're not thinking about too much at all, but just to be aware that you're not. Now, if we think about all those cars going past, then what do we do with them and how do we explore them? And we don't have to fix them, a little bit like a car going past us, but it's good to notice them. And the moment we do, we become more self-aware, and we can begin to think about actually what we might do about that, or what might help us, or what to think about that emotion or feeling. So I'm going to give you a couple of pictures that might help you. One is these lights, and I want to just focus on three lights. And I'd like you to imagine these three lights are just three things that you're grateful for right now. I wonder what they would be. Maybe family, or maybe someone that you know where you are who's supportive to you or kind to you, or maybe my team scored a goal last night in the football, so they haven't scored for a while, so maybe it's we scored a goal, or something that's made you happy, or an experience that you had. And even on bad days, we can think about three things that can make us happy, make us feel grateful, and that can really help us. It can really help our mood, it can really help our mind, but also enables us to feel more positive. We can look forward. We can think, yes, actually, things are okay. Even when things are difficult, there are things to be grateful for. And that's one way we can do mindfulness, is that we can just become aware of those things. And you might sometimes have to work to find them, but you can become aware of those things and they can begin to make sense to you. Another way you can do it is like this. There's a thing we use called the stress container, and I'll show you up on the screen what that looks like. Just going to share a picture with you. This is a little tool called the stress container. And if you imagine that container has in it all the things you're worried about, then mindfulness can help us become aware of those things. But then the tap is really important that you see on the side. The tap enables us to think about how we let those things go. And you can see where I filled in a stress container. I've put the things that are worrying me, but by the tap, I've put the things that enable the tap to turn on. For me, sometimes that can be music or meditation or space or silence. It could be having fun, playing sport, doing exercise, photography. It could be lots of different things. So you've got this container here and it's full of all your stresses. How can I turn on the tap? And when we're mindful of those things that worry us, we can begin to think what helps us. So maybe you've got a particular worry or thing that's causing you stress. What might relieve that? What's worked in the past? What's helped you in the past? Maybe talking to somebody. or maybe focusing on something else or doing something else. That can be a really good way to practice mindfulness. And then I guess the other thing you can do is to do something practical, and to do that in a mindful way. Mindfulness is all about being present. So rather than thinking about the past or the future, what's happening now and where am I now? And doing something like making or baking or creating, doing something physical with your hands can be a really good way of doing that. It's a person kneading some dough, and this can be done mindfully. You feel the dough and you touch it and you can become aware of it. And you actually focus on that rather than doing something, but actually thinking about something else. So maybe there's exercise that you do, or you go out gardening, or you get the chance to make something, or even just reading a book or watching something on television or sitting and being, but allowing yourself to do that fully in that moment and be present in it, and not be sitting there but thinking about something else or worrying about something else, or letting invasive thoughts get in the way, or letting worries get in the way. You can just focus on this thing. And something like this can be really helpful if you get a bit bothered by what you think about sometimes. It can enable you to focus on something else, to feel safe, to feel present, to have a different focus for your energy, what you're trying to do, what you're thinking about. It can be good if you're worrying about something, because it can enable you to think, well, right now, no, I'm here and I'm okay and I'm safe. A really good way to do that sometimes is just by a very simple exercise of feeling your feet on the ground, or your hands on a chair, or sitting back in a chair and feeling your back on the chair. And it reminds you just that I'm here. And it sounds like a really simple thing, but it can really help when other things are bothering you. We worry about the past, what we've done or what's happened, or we worry about the future, what's going to happen. Well, all I can do is live now, this moment right here. So those are 3 things that you can do with mindfulness that can really help you. And we're going to do a little mindful reflection now to help explore this. So I just bring my seat forward. And if you want to get yourself comfortable, we're going to play some music, and we're going to use a very simple image to help us. That's just going to come up on the screen now. And in a moment, we're just going to spend some time breathing. Before we do that, let's just relax. As I say, feel your back on the chair. Feel your feet on the ground, and try and settle. And allow your breathing to just relax. You might want to close your eyes, but you don't have to. But just find a comfortable place. And as you're breathing, begin to find a kind of slower kind of rhythm. As you breathe in, think about all the air coming through your lungs. As you breathe out, think about blowing a feather gently across a table, and try and relax. I'm going to put some music on, and we're just going to start by being still. And just allow the music to kind of wash over you, and just breathe very gently, and we're going to let it run all the way through until it's finished. as the kind of music finishes, we're just going to do 3 little tasks together that sum up these different ideas around mindfulness that we've thought about. So just keep that kind of breathing going very gently and very rhythmically and in a very relaxed way. Firstly, we're going to think about gratefulness. Things that we're grateful for. So as you breathe in and out, what I'd like you to do now is think on the inward breath. As you breathe in, think about things that you're grateful for. And maybe if you can, on each breath, think about one thing. I'm grateful for this person or this thing or this experience or this time. And then try and think of at least 3 things. Maybe try and do this each morning. Find a way to think about those 3 lights. These 3 things that we're grateful for. What are they? And to do that each day, different things each day. And then we're going to think about the things that worry us. And the way we're going to do this is a little bit like this. So imagine that as all of the things that worry you and stress you. It's funny how it gets in the way. So just as we're breathing, we're going to breathe in and then breathe out. And as we breathe out, we're just going to let that stress go. And as we're thinking of that, what are the ways that we can switch the tap on our stress container? What are the ways that we could let stress go over time? Getting outside, music, other people, exercise, something we like to do, something that relaxes us, so that the air can gently go out. Sorry for the noise. So the air comes out of that stress. The exercise we're going to do here is we're going to hold it for a second and think about that stress and just feel the tension just come away from you. Think about all those things in your stress container that you're worrying about. How can you switch on the tap? And then lastly, we're going to think about being present. Hands on the chair. Feel your back on the chair. Maybe just scan down your body and become aware of your body. You're here right now and you're safe. Whatever is getting in the way or making you feel uncomfortable or making you feel worried, you're here right now and you're safe. And we'll finish there. So we're going to think more about mindfulness throughout the different well-being zones, but that's just an introduction to how it all works. Like cars on a road, we're thinking about all the things we're feeling and we're seeing them go past. And then we just find simple techniques to be able to look at those things in a bit more detail, the things we're grateful for, the things that worry us, and then ways to be present, simple ways to be present. I hope that's helpful, and I hope it's something you can go and try again and again. I'd love to know what you think, and we'll do another one of these very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.